To me, being an elder is about service, about serving this church, about serving individual members, and about humbling myself in a way that can feel raw and hard at times, but kind of a race to the bottom to be in a place like Christ was, to be able to meet the needs, practically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, to allow this church to flourish and to allow people to know Christ better.
To be an elder means to serve the Church of Christ, to proclaim the truth, to shepherd the hearts of those at Redeemer, and to lead alongside the elders and staff. And in doing so, to help guide people, to encourage and support them, and lead them closer in their walk with Jesus.
I serve as an elder here at Redeemer because there's a need. That sounds like maybe a trite answer, but genuinely there is a need. Our church needs people to care for it, to pour themselves out for it, to be available, to step into the hard spaces. As we've grown, our needs as a church have grown as well. And we need good people who love the Lord, people with a diverse set of gifts. And I was called to this, to use my gifts, and I'm grateful to do so. And I'm grateful to be able to continue to serve in whatever way it's called with me.
For me, being part of the women's shepherding team means being more aware of and involved in the needs of our congregation. There are several people in our church family who are going through really deep water, and it is an honor to be able to come alongside them and help meet their physical and emotional and especially spiritual needs at that time. It also means being a part of a team, which means that different ones of us bring different strengths and experiences to the table. And I'm just so grateful that we meet about once a month to just pray for needs that people in our congregation have said, would you please pray for me about these things? Not only does the Women Shepherding team pray together, but we also join the elders, the deacons, and the deaconesses in prayer during the first hour when the session meets. And that's been a really sweet time to be able to do that.
It's more of a spiritual leadership position as opposed to a decision-making position. So I'm doing a lot of what I was doing before I was in the shepherding team, which means encouraging and mentoring and praying for people. And but now I'm doing it as sort of an official leader in the church, which has been empowering to me in terms of moving towards people. As an introvert, it's not easy for me to initiate with other people. But since I've been authorized as part of the women's shepherding team, I've found that I've been able to do that. Another thing about being in the women's shepherding team is that we sort of extend the pastoral reach at Redeemer, where we can walk with people and care for people in a way that our pastors with human limitations can't care for every single person in the congregation personally.
Because I've been taken care of since my earliest days. I've had men and women, but especially women, pour into my life since I was a young girl all the way through the present. So it just feels right and fitting and beautiful to be able to turn around and do that for someone else.
Yeah, so being a deaconess is being on the leadership team for church to help lead our church in mercy and justice, meaning like addressing the felt needs of our congregation and also our city. So felt needs meaning like literally like food, water, clothing, shelter, rent, a job, like those sorts of things. So really thinking about how to care for our body and care for our city. Like, I don't know about how other people think about it, but a lot of people still ask me like, so being a deacon means like you take care of the building, right? And for a lot of my like family where I was growing up, they still think that we take care of the building, which we're really blessed at Redeemer to have another team that does that. So we're freed from caring for like our building and really thinking about our people and the people who are in our community.
So while everyone is called to serve every believer, a deacon is specifically commissioned by the church to serve a lifetime calling to find ways to administer mercy and justice both to the congregation and the broader community. We're often at Redeemer, what that looks like is thinking with clarity and organization around policies with the ways that we serve people, to be consistent, to have clarity, and to find ways to bring God's compassion to our community.
The chance to serve with other people that were asking those same questions, like how do we serve in ways and really give people what they need that goes past simple answers, like how do we just not do the next thing that seems right, but like really what's actually needed without causing harm while we're doing it. I looked around and the deacons were the ones asking those questions. So the chance to get to be around amazing people that I really respected and liked was the biggest draw for a long time. And then like now I appreciate more and more like the chance to work alongside people who are drawing people into the full meaning of what it means to be whole, like not just food and shelter and money, but also like spiritual health and community, and people really having a right idea of what it means to be in need of Jesus. That is really, really special.
I serve as a deacon because I've always wanted to have a structured way to plug in with the church in a consistent manner. I've loved being a part of the neighborhoods that directly surround Redeemer. I've loved getting to know so many people that call Redeemer home, that to be able to, on a consistent basis, steward the resources and the opportunity and the time of Redeemer is a way that I feel like I get to be an integral part of this family and to serve God and the community at the same time.
I think about all the time how I met a person here at church who I met him about 15 years ago, and he came to the deacon team needing very like real things, like their lights weren't on and it was December and they didn't have any electricity, and we came in and helped the immediate need, like helped pay some bills and think about why like what we'd need to do to make sure that situation didn't happen again. But as I think back, like that person has just consistently, faithfully shown up to stay in relationship with us, even when we really didn't have a good idea of what to do to help. And they have definitely taught me more than I ever helped them, like what it means to live in poverty in the city, what it means to like have to navigate to church on Sunday morning at 9:30, but the bus schedule doesn't align with that. And so I think that's a lot of times what our deacon work looks like not coming at this with, wow, we have this list of right answers or here's all of our things to do to help, but just being a friend and walking alongside people to say like, I don't know either, but I'll show up with you and I'll help figure it out. And we can do what friends do and brothers and sisters in Christ together. And man, like getting to see the church like really come alongside everybody and say, we're here for all of you. That is one of the most beautiful things in the whole world.
One of the communities that we serve is a group called the Legacy Ladies. They're widows that we have brought together with the church that care for each other, that care for us, that we care for. And one of them recently had to move out of a house that she was selling, moving out of state to be with family. And she just needed an afternoon of a few people to help her sort through some things and move them to a different facility. And it's the kind of thing that doesn't need to be a big effort, but it's also something that you don't need to put a big call out to the community for. And the deacons are those that are ready to just jump in and do that kind of thing. So my wife and I were able to just spend the afternoon with her. She told us stories about her home and her love for Redeemer and for her time there. And we helped her move some things into another place. And it was just such a quiet, clean, easy opportunity to be God's hands and feet to someone in the community and to feel really blessed and connected to her, finding some closure with her time at Redeemer.
I became aware of a mom in our congregation who was going through really deep water that she had not anticipated. And it's been delightful to literally walk with her and talk and process what's happening and to see the hope come alive in her. And not only in her, but also in her children who have gone through deep water too because of this. And to provide a safe place and a haven for them has been really life-giving for me.
There are many times where I and others have poured into people's lives and walked and listened and tried to guide and walk with them, only for their marriage to still fail and end in divorce or to walk away from the church. And those are sad, but there's a reminder that God works on a different time scale and with a different economy than we do. And as Paul said, one plants, another waters, and only God grows. And so in many of those cases, I have played a small part of watering or planting and been able to see his work grow. The ways those happen sometimes is over a long period of time, sometimes in a brief conversation, but always with prayer. And it gives me joy to come on a Sunday morning and look around the service and see people and know their lives, know some piece of their life, the stories of how God has drawn them closer to themselves. And I think the other place where this is very poignant is the Ash Wednesday services, where people come forward and ask for intercessory prayer, and those are a joyful time. Even this last year, I was able to pray for several teenagers who came and asked for prayer for how do I have courage to share my faith with my non-Christian friend, or how do I know what God's will for my life is, and how can I really trust Him? And so it's a joy to participate and pray with and for them, and to just ask for the Spirit to pour out on them.